And we are back again with Michael J. Muccio, author of the book America's Battle for Free Enterprise, The Value of Incentive and Competition. And now we'll be talking about Chapter 10, which is entitled Those Stubborn Facts and Stats, American Education. So, Michael, what are the stubborn facts?
Well, of 33 nations that were tested, we as a nation finished last place in math, 23rd out of 33 nations in science, and 17th in reading. And when you continue to dig deeper into those stats, the biggest difference that can be made in the effective of the productivity of the students is good teachers. And the magnitude of the difference between a good teacher and a mediocre or poor teacher is huge. And then we do have to say something that education begins in the home. Parents need to be involved in those early years of a child's education because that builds that foundation.
You know, when we hear that, oh my gosh, dead last in math and 23rd in science, why?
Well, I tell you, it was really disturbing for me because I have a couple of friends that are principals, and when they have told me the hoops that they have to jump through in order to replace a teacher, it is amazing. I mean, these principals, they love their kids, they love the students, they love the school, and they want their students to excel, but they can't make the changes that they need to make. If they run into, they don't think a teacher is up to speed, they can't easily make that change. And when I looked at some of that, and then I started reading up on it further as to what they were saying, and realized from my experience with businesses, and because I worked with, did a lot of consulting with small businesses and still do, if I had to change what I was doing because I couldn't, I would have to settle for mediocrity instead of pursuing excellence. I can't even imagine trying to build a successful business if you can't go for excellence, if you can't really thrive to be your best. And they feel like their hands are tied. They can't really go after what they need to do to make their school better.
Mm-hmm. So you wrote, remember, good teachers deserve to be paid more than average or inferior teachers. Like every other profession, they need the incentive to be their best. Ineffective teachers can tend to be so overpaid they need to either become more effective or find another career. Just because public school teachers are paid by the government shouldn't mean that incentive to excel, improve, and be their best is thrown out the window. If businesses aren't creative and effective in making a profit, then the marketplace fires them. If teachers aren't engaging and effectively teaching students, then principals need to have the freedom to replace them. It makes sense. So why are these truths flying under the radar?
Parents don't know how to interpret the test scores. They don't realize where the problem is coming in. They don't understand the difference that a good teacher and a bad teacher can make. And then when you combine that with if teachers don't have an incentive, we're back to that thing of incentives again. If teachers are rewarded when their students really learn the material and they're really able to excel, particularly when you consider the international testing, we want to pay attention to the world marketplace of young people. And we want the best young people we want to put the best young people out in there because they have to compete for those jobs. And if parents don't understand the data, then they're not going to be sounding off like they need to. So once again, we're back to education. People need to know what's going wrong, what the weakness is, because we're this country, we've got some really great teachers. Mm-hmm. And the bottleneck, the problem, it seems to be with all of the studying of it is the Department of Education. It's more in the administrative aspect instead of putting the decision making back into the parents and to the best teachers. The best teachers need to be determining the curriculum in conjunction with parents instead of it coming from an elite group that seems to be more involved in having good statists and good politically correct kids instead of kids that are strong in math and science and reading and so forth. So
very true, very good. Thank you so much, Michael, and we will be back in a moment to continue talking about the book.